All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Electric Fantasy Football Podcast. I apologize. I am a week late on this. I had a guest, or I should say, I had a general manager or league owner on the docket ready to go, and my golf round went long last week. And then next thing you know, it was the weekend, and obviously, people are watching football and doing family stuff on weekends. So I will make up for it this week. This week we have a very interesting guest because he is one of 2 new league members this year into the Gale Fantasy Football League. No, he does not work with us, but we had a few turnovers the past couple of years, and we wanted to fill that spot with somebody that is more reliable and that will not use excuse that they don't like to gamble or don't want to watch that much football anymore, because I know this guy will always be gambling. This guy will always be watching football. Let it be college, pro, shit, even high school, like in the pee-wee, whatever it is. This guy loves watching football, and I am honored to have on this podcast my good friend, Kenny Kozdron. Kenny, how you doing, buddy?
Good, sir. Thanks for having me.
How was that intro? Did you like that intro?
I could have sent you a little better one, but we'll work on that.
But yeah, so before we get into the meat and potatoes, which is football and fantasy football, I obviously know a lot about you, but I would say every member in this league does not really know much about you. So we're going to cover some of that. But before we get into all that,
are we sure that's a good idea?
if you guys haven't seen any of my previous vlogs on my YouTube channel, Kenny and his fiance have been featured multiple times on it. Even when you did that shot of Malort.
A little breezy.
Is this stuff nasty?
Oh, no chaser. Come on, bro. What is that? What is that? Oh.
Did you give him gasoline, maybe?
Oh.
I mean, I did it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What's your thought?
Here, you want a sip of my drink?
You said Eric said that's like
Here.
really good stuff. Oh, God.
What do you think it tastes like if you had to compare it to anything? Dirty socks?
Something. It's.
All right, you can have some Sprite or your beer. Or whatever.
Thank you.
You can take a chaser.
Yeah, I need to.
So how can you describe that shot of Malort in 3 words?
Dog shit.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Dog shit gross.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Gross
I
dog
mean-
shit.
have you ever
Yeah, that was
tasted
bad.
Hey, have you ever
That was-
tasted dog shit?
Well, you actually set me up for that, and you knew it damn well. So did Easy, because Easy said it was so good tasting, and yeah. But whatever. I played good at golf that day, so if I have to do a shot like that to play good at golf, I guess I'll do it.
Not only did you play good at golf, but you also did a second shot at the fantasy football draft with Chris Allen and I. So props
That's
to you
true.
for doing a second round of that after knowing
Absolutely.
what that was going to taste like.
Absolutely. Well, I guess I also took a good shot, or thought I took a good shot because I thought I drafted good, but as we can see, not paying.
We'll get into that. But before we get any further, since you brought up a mutual friend of ours, Eric Zaleski, he is not in the league, but a lot of the people in the league know who he is because he's been part of my life for, pretty long time now. But a lot of people asked me how you and I met. So do you want to tell just a very quick version of that story? I mean, it's not really that interesting, but a lot of people don't realize how we met.
It's not. I guess all I remember is I think I met you once though, but it was very brief at Easy's. If you remember that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Easy's now wife's birthday, and they're also celebrating their engagement. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't obviously know who you were. I don't even think we talked, to be honest with you. I don't remember.
I think we played a little bit of Shut the Box, but I was there briefly because I think I just came from a wrestling match, and then I think I was dieting too. So like,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then shoot, all of a sudden I got on this email chain to go on this bachelor party, and I didn't hear too much about you or anything like that. I guess I kind of kept quiet. Rumors had it you and Pelto were going to become BFFs. But I stayed in Denver with my family for a week. Got dropped off at the Airbnb, and next thing you know, match made in heaven. Love at first sight kind of thing.
Yeah, and for you guys, for those that don't know, so I was the best man in Eric Zaleski's wedding.
Yeah.
Eric Zaleski is now one of the best men in my wedding, but you forgot to you left out that who was your childhood high school best friend?
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
it's Eric Zaleski. So
100%.
it's when you combine your best friend that you've had pretty much. I mean, did you and Eric go to school together since you guys were young, or was it just high school?
We went to school since elementary school together.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like a lot like Easy's a lot like Joe to me. Yeah. So Easy's a lot like Joe is to me, where I've had this friend since pretty much day one, and you've built on that relationship, and you and Easy are obviously still really, really, really good friends. But there is a little animosity with the friendship that you and I have started, which I mean, you can't really get mad at somebody for being friends with somebody, like once it clicks, it clicks.
Well, I guess my question would be, would he be much happier that we would hate each other?
I know, right? Like imagine those Christmas parties where we hated each other. That wouldn't be fun.
No.
My favorite. Going home, hotel. Instead, we're doing we're bonging beers and seltzers. We're playing golf together, and I remembered half the round. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
small world though.
Yeah, very small world. I'm very blessed. I have a very small inner circle. A lot of people call bullshit on that, but you know me, and I don't really. I'm an introvert, man. I'm very I'm a loner, and I only talk to very few people on like a daily basis, and you are one of those people. So
I'm same with you. I feel like life is too short, and you just got to worry about kind of yourself and take one day at a time. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's always nice to have your inner circle with good friends and people that I don't know. I consider a lot of my friends basically family and brothers at this point in time, and how old I am now. Big 36 this year.
36, man. It's and that's another thing that once you get older, age doesn't matter. Like really with anything, right? Like it could be dating. Obviously, that doesn't reference us well because we're both locked down for the rest of our lives. But
good reference.
Yeah, but like friendships. Like I have friends. Look at this league. Like I have friends that are in their 50s, and I have one that's standing up in my wedding. So it's like age does not matter at all, especially when it comes to friendships, because you build these friendships with certain people and they just stick. And like you said, you're very lucky to have, not that many, but you have people that you trust in your life that you call family and brothers. And I feel like that's so important, just for anybody to have, man.
I mean, especially with what's going on in society these days and all that kind of stuff. It's good to have a good support system, and stay positive and stuff. And you're definitely a positive kid. Yeah, you like to give shit, but I give it right back to you. So that's, I think, why our bond works so well.
Yeah, there's certain people that you can talk shit to, and there's certain people that you do, and they take it very sensitively, like Eric Gordon. I hope he's watching. Which we still got to do that 2v2 golf match, man.
That's true. That's still brewing in the works. Well, we were supposed to do it last year, but instead we did a Brad's charity outing. So everybody donated $150. So shout out to Brad. Come back for that.
Yeah, that was fun, but didn't expect to lose that much money that day. But you're talking about family, so let's. So how's the fam? How's Colleen? How's the kiddos?
Good. Started back
Good.
school. We got one a senior, one in 8th grade, and one in 5th grade. So they're all back at school. Yep. And we're doing about $30,000 worth of remodel to our house right now. So fantastic. And I might as well mention I do have 10 heartbeats of living animals because of my better half. She loves her animals. So yeah.
So I have this running joke with Kenny every time we talk, and he mentions like, oh, my brother-in-law is staying with us, or my cousin's friend down the street staying with us this week or something. I'm just like, so how many heartbeats is that in your house this week? You're like 16. So, but it just shows how big of a heart that you guys have, and especially you opening your arms.
Shout out to Colleen though. Colleen has a huge heart. So
yeah, I could tell that right away when I first met her.
Yeah,
because obviously her and Megan hit it off very well at the Christmas party.
She'll kick me out of the house before she kicks the animals out of the house. Tell you. So go stay at the golf club for a couple of days.
Yeah. You guys just went to the Keith Urban concert. Talk a little bit about that.
That was fun. I know that's one of your favorites.
That's
your favorite. Yeah. I feel like Keith Urban's either you love him or you hate him. Because, you know, a lot of people that I'm like, hey, I'm going to Keith Urban. And they're like, oh, well, screw that guy. And it's like, well, how do you say that? I don't know. He's been around for what, 20 years?
More than that. So we were,
23?
Because I went to his concert this year and I've seen him 20 sometimes live. And we were doing like trivia with my mom. I started loving Keith Urban because my mom was my freshman year of high school is when I really started to figure out who he was. So that was 2004, 2005. But he's been making music and records since 91. Isn't that crazy to think about? 1991 was his first US album because he's from Australia. But
he was starting up when Garth was huge then.
Yeah, dude, I was 1 year old when he produced his first album.
I don't know. I think he's just such a great performer. I understand some people can argue that he's not country, but a lot of people argue that country's not country today. So I like all types of music. So and I do, like I said, I think he puts on one hell of a show. Every show I've seen him 5 times, I believe now. And every time I've seen him, came back. I'd even go see Katy Perry just because I've heard that she puts on amazing shows. So
that's such a good point that you make, because I love Keith Urban's music and I think he's the best entertainer I've ever seen in live in concert. And when I tell people, especially people that don't know me well, I'm like, oh, who's your favorite artist? I'd be like, Keith Urban. I've seen him over 20 times live. They're just like, that is like a really absurd amount, one. And two, like, you know, like who thinks this, you know, meathead sports guy is gonna be in love with Keith Urban? Like, you know, you don't really see a lot of males at Keith Urban concerts, but when you do, man, they're either diehards or they're just there because their girlfriend, wife,
I mean,
lover,
single,
you know.
I mean, right? I would say country concert would probably be one of the better places to go pick up some single ladies. Just throwing it out there. Not single, by the way. Colleen, love you.
But yeah, that's very, very, very true. And before we move on,
country concerts always have good vibes. I feel like, you know, like I've been to rock concerts, and then all of a sudden people want to fight and stuff. Why are you fighting? You know, like just at these sporting events, you don't control who wins the game, but you're gonna punch someone's lights out because your team didn't score a touchdown and your team sucks. Like, it's not that guy's fault. But anyways, different.
Before we go fully into football, obviously we can't talk about you without mentioning golf and how much you love golf. You love golf even more than me, and people that know me know that I have really taken to my passion is golf now. But for you, I will just get random texts from this guy on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He has golf league. We won't be talking for hours, and he'll just send me his 42. he'll just send me his golf score, letting me know how he did that day. So I think you love the game more than me. How long have you actually been like in the thick of it, like playing multiple times a week?
Probably about 5 years now.
So you would say you've been playing 5 years straight, like consistently?
For the most part, consistently. Yeah. Say about 5 years. I mean, I've always played. One of my first jobs was at a golf course, which I don't know, it was like one of the awesome jobs, right? You get to drive a golf cart when you're 14 years old, right? So, but I played all other types of sports. If I could take one thing back, I wish I would have played golf when I was a young kid. I just love the game. I think it's a game that, as long as you don't have any major injuries, you should be able to play your entire life, I guess. So, it's a great game, I guess. But yeah, I'd say about 5 years. Ever since I got a membership at my dog shit track, that you would call it. Yeah. But hey, can't beat it. Can't beat it. So I've been playing on League for 3 years, which seems like League helps you a little bit too, right? Because think about it. No one wants to hit in front of anybody else, right? But at League, you have to hit in front of everybody else, right? So it gets you out of your comfort zone, which golf, you have to get out of your comfort zone because it's one of those games you got to snap right back into it. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to have a bad round, which I think we both know that. Yeah.
From a rookie golfer, I can't tell you how nerve-wracking it is to be on that first tee box, even at a course that you're used to, like, and everyone's watching. And in reality, now that I've been around golf for a year and a half now, like consistently, and being on the opposite end of that, I'm not good by any means, but I'm a lot more comfortable. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched somebody tee off. I literally, if I'm next on the tee box, I don't even look where their ball goes. Like, that's how much I don't care about what someone else is doing. But in my head, I feel like everybody wants to know exactly how I'm shooting. You know, if I F up, they want to know, they're going to tell everybody about it. But do you feel that way? Do you ever watch, like, I guess besides the people you might be playing against in the league, but like, if I'm like next at like on a Saturday at 10 a.m. and the people at 9:50 are teeing off, dude, I'm busy doing other stuff. I don't know.
The biggest thing I've learned is you gotta just focus on yourself. If you focus on other people or even shit talking and stuff, you lose your game. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like golf is, they say it, 90% emotions and 10% mental. Jesus, emotions. Yeah. Mental. Yes. But it really is. I mean, you can go shoot. I can go have a dog. Like, for example, what was it? Friday, I had a shanked a drive, which I hadn't shanked, maybe went 60 yards. Ended up hitting a hybrid about 230, 240, chipped it on about 2 feet away and still made par of it, right? I could have got all pissed off and got all fluttered and easily ended up with the 6-7, but it seems like if you settle yourself down a little bit, which I don't. I hate leaving out there, but the more it seems like you settle yourself down, the better results you get. What do I tell you all the time? Position golf. So
yeah, like course management and concentrate on yourself.
Exactly. But you're getting better. I know you're gonna give me some competition. You say next year, but let's bring it on. We should have like a Gale outing, like next year before like the fantasy draft or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone plays golf at least.
Yeah, no, that'd be
they're
fun.
Interested in it. Yeah,
man scramble or something like that.
Yeah.
Next year, do it on a Saturday so everybody doesn't have something going on. That'd be fun. Yeah, seems like a great group of guys. I gotta butter someone up. I need a trade bad.
So in that segue, let's get into the fantasy football season. So
yes, sir. Called Torture Tuesday by Electric Ely. Here we go.
So to update the viewers on the standings, this is why I love this league. I talked about this with Chris Haynes in week 1. It's so even. We have 6 teams tied for first place at 2-1. And then we have Then we have 3 teams in second at 1 and 2. I'm one of those teams. And then we have somebody
As you can
that.
see, why do I have to go this week after he plays in 2? I just gotta throw that out there. But
And then we have somebody that's winless that is in last, at 0 and 3. But that's why I love this league. There's no there's not really any blowouts either. Like no one's really scoring that many points. Like I scored this past week, I scored 120. Thanks Dallas defense yesterday. I scored 121 yesterday, and that was the high of the week. So this is a 10-team league, so this isn't even a 12-team league, and we're still not putting up that many points, which means the teams are very even, they're very balanced. And yeah, so if you guys that are watching
aren't in the league, it's like a could have, would have, should have league, right?
Yes.
Like if you look like sometimes, making the right matchup, right? And then all of a sudden, the guy on your bench, I get a text from you, hey, thanks for not playing Devin Singletary.
Who would do that?
Awesome. Yeah, right? Guy gets 28 points. So if you look at that in our matchup, that would have made a difference in our matchup, right?
Yeah, so if you guys
exactly.
If you guys couldn't figure it out yet, I played Ken last week. And I got my first win.
Good for you.
Which was, like you even said, it was a must win for both of us, and both of us couldn't win. So
tied, though. I would have took a tie.
So before we get into like the current day, let's go back to the draft. Like you mentioned that you felt good about your draft.
I did.
Yeah. Did you have a few drinks during the draft? You did. But looking at your team, and I played you last week, so I know your team already. I like your balance. I mean, so I think one of your biggest issues is deciding who to start at quarterback every week, because you have Tua and you have Rodgers.
I didn't draft Tua.
You didn't draft Tua, but
off the waivers, I had to. Well, I think it was a smart move because Rodgers.
I mean, that's on me, because I said those bring up the draft, but I'm looking at your team right now, and
no, I get it.
That is what I think is like, because if there's Rodgers, the Packers are going to probably win the NFC, right? Like NFC North, right? Like that's where we're at right now. I mean, we saw the Lions, just a heartbreaker loss to Minnesota last week, and Chicago is just awful. So
why does it always have to do something with the Lions? Why can't they just why? They're there, right?
I was sitting in the basement Sunday, and we were texting, and Megan was cleaning the kitchen, doing that stuff, and she came downstairs right after Minnesota scored that last touchdown, wide open, no even around them. And she had no idea what was going on. She didn't know what the score of the game was. She knew they were winning most of the game because I was cheering in a really good mood. It's kind of sad that our moods rely on the lie.
It's bad at my house.
I was in a very bad mood after that game, and when she came downstairs, she's like, "You don't look happy. What's going on?" I go, "We're down 4 with 45 seconds left. We have 0 timeouts." And she was like, "Oh no," because like they can still win, but she knows it wasn't going to happen, and that happened last year with the Vikings. I think that we were at home when they did that, when they came back and beat us on a field goal at the last second. So
but to bring that up right there, to start the season 2-1 would just, I think because the momentum would have been just on our side, right?
There's a lot higher hopes this year, like you said. So that's why that game meant a lot more than it meant last year.
Of course. And I mean, I think Philly actually looks like one of the top teams, right? And the Lions only lost to them by 3 points. Granted, I think they were doing the play prevent defense, a little bit at the end because they were winning, but we did only lose by 3 points. So, same old Lions though. Unfortunately, you gotta say it, right? It's hard not to. I mean, you go back to Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell couldn't freaking call and manage freaking time. Come on, Dan Campbell, go do some down ups. Let's get it. Jeez. Great. Anyways, we can be done with the Lions.
Yeah, let's get on the Lions. So draft strategy. Finally, Derrick Henry stepped up for you this week.
Finally.
He got you 24 points this past week. So he stepped up for you, which was massive. But he got 24 points. So I really like your receiving core. That's massive with Devontae Adams and Waddle. We talked about Waddle in private and in text earlier. He's definitely stepped up for you. What round did you draft Waddle?
Fourth round.
Oh, okay. So he was like a top guy for you.
50 drafted 58, so I'm guessing fourth, fifth round.
Do you have high hopes for Julio Jones? What's the deal there? What's his issue? Julio.
Well, I'm actually trying to drop him right now as we speak.
Really? That's a hot update for this league. If anyone's listening to this, as soon as this comes out.
Yeah, I'm trying to. No, that's my other league. I'm dropping. I don't have Julio Jones.
Yes, you do. I'm looking at him right now. He's on your bench, along with Chase Claypool, Aaron Rodgers, Devin Singletary, Robert Woods, and Josh Jacobs. Mike Evans is coming back this week too. So
who is?
Mike Evans. So that's going to hurt Julio if he comes back.
Well, so like I said, my issue is it's. I feel like almost every matchup I've had is I'm not setting my lineup in the correct form because then I have two bench players that are outscoring my active players, and what are you gonna do?
I feel like everybody has that problem because I'm looking at our matchup. I beat you 121-95, but on my bench, I had Zeke on my bench. I had Pollard on my bench. I had Cordell Patterson who got 22 points on my bench. I had Garrett Wilson get me 12. So it's like in this league, it does come down to who do you start and who do you bench. It's not like most leagues where you're like, all right, I have my starters and maybe one guy I'm thinking about maybe bumping up to the starting lineup. But that's usually it. In this league, it's you have to make the right decision. You have to do your research. You have to listen to people that you want to listen to like get that inside scoop.
I would say the NFL's been a little weird though this year, right? Who would have thought the Giants would have been 2-1? You know,
they looked like dog shit last night.
I'm just saying though, right? But I mean, Jacksonville Jaguars. Who thought that they would be 3-0?
Why can't the Lions be in the NFC East?
Just put us in something better than
for real. Like,
but then I
when's that division been good?
God, never. I mean, for a while, right? I think, yeah. But I think, I guess I went heavy kind of on the Raiders if you look a little bit, but I'm thinking Devontae Adams, right? He's got Derek Carr, Derek Carr can at least throw the ball, but what are you going to do?
So, that brings up a good point. Do you feel like, because I have a lot of Vikings, do you feel like
that's your personal issue?
Do you feel that if you draft at least 3 players from one team, that is it an advantage for you if they're winning? And is it a disadvantage for you if they're losing? Like you mentioned, you have the Raiders, they're 0-3. You have Adams, Waller, and Josh Jacobs.
Right. I just played a guy in my league. He had 3 people on the Chargers in this other league, which was a week ago. But that was when Herbert, Mike Williams, and I believe he had the kicker. They all went off, and they had 60 points between the 3 of them, which, But then this week, if you looked, they didn't do as well as they did. So I don't know. I think that's tough, to be honest with you. That's a tough question.
It's like because you're relying on that team to do well.
Right. Then you're almost sudden like, I'm rooting for the Raiders, and now they're 0-3. Like, shoot, you know, I agree with that. Though.
I just realized I have 3 Cowboys.
No, I almost wish I would have not, because I did it in my other league. I wish I would have looked at that a little more, I guess. But I guess it's sometimes hard when you see a good player on the board and you don't want to, I guess, necessarily miss them. You know?
That brings me to my next question. On draft day, was there anybody that you really wanted that got taken right before, or like somebody like reached on and picked them that you were like thought they were going to fall to you? Because I know you and Al were talking for the most part during the draft.
Yeah.
And obviously you feel most of the time you're going to feel confident leaving a draft. But I felt like you were pretty confident. Was there anybody that you really wanted that slipped by, or no, that you can think of?
I'm sure there's a few, but not to. I wish I would have went to a little better for a quarterback. I think that was one of my bigger mistakes. As you can see, Rodgers is not doing that great. Like I said, I just picked up Tua, so Tua's kind of a waiver thing. But there's probably a few people. I can't think of someone right off my head, I guess.
I know.
I liked I liked Pittman. I wish I would have grabbed Pittman.
All right, there you go.
The Colts. I thought that was a good pickup. He's a beast. Yeah, guess you never know. Like I said, wish, could have, should have, would have, kind of thing, you know.
I know this is kind of like a backhanded question, but I got to ask it because it's on my notes. How do you feel right now compared to when you left my house after the draft? Do you feel that this is manageable? Do you feel that if you would have moved some things around one of these 3 weeks, that you would at least have one win?
Well, absolutely. But yeah, do I wish I was the second one on a podcast after playing you and being 0-3 now? No, absolutely not. Should we have played Ren's run since you said we could have played Ren's run? Absolutely, and you should have paid for that damn round too. But you know, just gotta stay positive. That's all you can do at this point. I don't know. I really don't.
So I have a proposal for
how much things can you really look at? You know, the waivers, you know, you can look every day, but it's not like people are going crazy in the waivers and stuff. So you really just gotta hope some of these guys produce. Like I said, I don't think I have a bad team necessarily, right? But
so according to ESPN, you have a 29% chance of making the playoffs.
All right, that's better.
Will Team Kozdron make the playoffs?
I gotta have positive attitude. Yes. I still think I have a shot. I do.
I will make a proposal. To you. If you make the playoffs,
we're not doing chops to the chest.
No, we're not. If you make the playoffs, I will pay for your next 18 hole round at Red Run.
All right. If
you don't make the playoffs, the next time we go golfing, let it be Red Run or a public course, you have to supply all the beers.
All right, deal.
There it is. First deal made on the podcast. If Kenny makes the playoffs, he gets a free round of golf at a 5-star country club. And if he does not make the playoffs, we're not talking about who's going to win in golf. I don't care who wins in golf. I care about fantasy football right now.
All right, fair enough.
But when that gets closer, we can talk about strokes. But it's probably going to be next year. But yeah, there it is. So if he doesn't make the playoffs, he has to provide all the beers for our round. So that's a nice little wager we got going there. It's fun.
Can we go to a course that's BYOB?
Yeah, you guys got a bar here where you can buy some beers? No, bring your own cooler.
Well, the private course that me and you golfed at, remember?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at. I've never heard of that ever in my life. You can bring your.
That was awesome.
So we went on a golf trip and we played 9 the night prior of playing 18 at like the top course. It was 9-hole course, and we go there empty-handed, prepared to buy beers because we didn't want to be the people that from out of town that are bringing beers to a country club. And we get there, they go, "Oh no, this is BYOB. If you guys want, you can go back and get your own cooler before your tee time." We were just Stunned. And then and then the best part is the backyard to our Airbnb we were staying at was on the 7th, right by the 7th fairway. So we cannot wait to get to the hole 7s. We pulled up the car right to the back door and just loaded up the cars for 2.5 holes to go. And then the wives weren't really happy with us when we showed up to dinner, but
that was a good weekend. That was a great weekend.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Great weekend.
All right, so winding down here, let's talk about your upcoming matchup. I'm going to bring that up here. So this is a big week for you because you're playing a team that has scored less points than you. It's Mr. Hicks, Team Fancy. He was voted on by ESPN as having the best draft. And now he put up like 56 points last week, which is crazy to think about in a 10-person league, but he did. So we're looking at the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with the league being so close, I mean, I understand I'm 0-3, but if I can get some W's in the next couple of weeks here and make a little run, you never know, I guess. I mean, I'm looking at his team. You know, I bet one of his issues is Justin Jefferson hasn't produced in the last 2 weeks for him, right? Top receiver.
How did Jeff Okudah shut down Justin Jefferson? What was that all about?
And Darius
did Okudah just get really good in the offseason?
I know Okudah sucked for us the last 2 years, but hey,
he's been hurt. No, yeah. I mean, so is your lineup the way you have on ESPN right now? What you're going with? If it is, you're projected 112. He's projected 114. Are you starting Tua over Rodgers this week?
That's going to be questionable right now.
Rodgers is playing New England at home, and Tua is playing at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a really good defense.
Well, and Tua's questionable, so that's going to be probably a Sunday. Oh no, I'll probably just start Rodgers. They might not even play Tua. Do you see that they play on Thursday too? So that's
I know that's true. So that's going to be your big decision, and he's got Mixon on his bench because Mixon's is questionable. Because I know Perine came in and had a good day too.
Right. So I mean,
last week,
I would say Mr. Fancy's kind of in the same boat as me. Some of his players aren't producing, or I'm sure he probably had some guy sitting on the bench. What is he? 1-2. Mr. Hicks is 1-2. Yeah.
He is. Yeah, I mean, this is going to come down to the wire. I mean, he's starting Breece Hall in his flex right now, and he gets 8 carries a game, but he gets reception. So yeah, I don't know. This is going to be interesting.
No, it should be a good matchup. Tom Brady's probably pissed off, but he plays Kansas City, so that should be pretty good. I think that's the 5th time Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes is going up versus each other.
Would you say you win this week against Team Fancy?
I sure hope so. If I have to pay Mr. Fancy or throw a couple bucks or throw a couple side bets on the side to get the W, whatever it takes. I need the W bad, but yeah, I gotta stay positive, right?
You do. It's a long season, 0-3. This is a must win, though. I don't think you can go 0-4 and make the playoffs.
I think if I go 0-4, I think I might as well just make
those beers would be tasty already. I can already start tasting them.
Yeah. Or we just go to IT and call it even.
All right. So what you mentioned trades. This is the last thing we're really gonna cover.
I'm open for trades.
What position are you looking for so other league members know? Running back looks like. I mean, you got.
I would like a decent running back. I don't know. I feel like
Javonte Williams hasn't done anything. Miles Sanders has had 2 good games.
He's only had 1, I thought.
It's a crowded backfield. He had
he's 17 in his first game versus the Lions. Of course,
he had 17 against the Lions, and then he had 11 against Minnesota. And then he had 5 last week.
I mean, the Eagles look like a good team, so that's
I mean, you have Singletary too. I mean, you don't have bad running backs. And you have Josh Jacobs.
Well, then I have I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. I feel like if you just get your roster right this week, you'll be fine. But
flip of the coin, my brother. Flip of the coin.
All right, to end.
You know the crappiest part though is
What's
these
that?
jackasses can go out and have a bad week, right? But it makes me lose in fantasy football. That's some bullshit, and they still get a W, right?
They still get money.
Exactly.
So to end,
Torture Tuesday.
so to end the pod, we're gonna do some. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and then I'm gonna do a new segment that I thought of today. Where I'm gonna do a rapid fire round, which I'm gonna ask all members 5 questions, and you have to answer immediately, as soon as you can. But first, do the Detroit Lions beat who they play this week? They're favored by a lot. Who do they play? Why don't I know this?
I got it. No, maybe. Who do you think?
They play the Seahawks at home in Detroit. Who wins?
Gotta go Lions.
You think, right?
Right.
Score?
I'm giving up on them. 34-27.
34-27. Does Michigan beat Iowa, and by how much? The spread is currently plus 11 to Iowa. They're in Iowa.
Michigan does win.
They cover the spread.
They cover by 3.
So they win by 14.
Oh, the spread's 14.
Spread's 11, but you said they cover by 3. So
no, I'm sorry. They cut. Yeah, I think they win by a touchdown. They don't cover the spread. No.
Wow. I can't really talk as the
Not
viewers
how they
get
played
to
versus
now,
Maryland.
so-
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I haven't.
Let's not talk about that.
See, I'm a good Michigan fan. I haven't said anything about that.
All right, you ready to end with this rapid fire segment?
Let's do it.
5 questions. They're going to be random. It could be about your life, could be about sports, could be about flicking the bean. You never know. All right.
All right.
What will the Lions' record be at the end of the season?
7-11.
I go 7.
7 and 10.
7-10.
Oh my
So
god.
still no playoffs.
Yeah, no plays.
Yeah, 7-11. No,
7-10. They play 17 games.
Yeah, 7-10.
Which pet of mine is your favorite?
Oh, you're not gonna like this, Milo.
Yep, I knew it. What is your favorite? What is your favorite Keith Urban song?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with my first one. Somebody Like You. That's what got me started on it.
Who is more attractive, you or Jimmy G?
Oh, me, 100%.
Jimmy Garoppolo fucking sucks.
So
So does
hot.
Kurt's cousin.
So hot.
And last but not least, how many beers are you going to drink at my bachelor party in Las Vegas in next April?
How many days we staying there?
We were there Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, come back Sunday.
Holy crap. I'd say over and under 100.
It's going to be over. I don't know. That's over 20 a day.
Well, that's what I. Can we edit that out?
All right, man. I want to say thank you for joining. Any last words you have for the peeps? Anything you want to say?
Thanks for letting me join, fellas. Nice meeting all you guys, and hopefully we get to do a little golf outing or something. Hopefully I come back and can talk a little more shit here, and get my team back together.
Hell yeah, buddy. Sounds good.
Rock and roll.